Okay, part 10, folks. Can you believe that I'm doing 10 parts of this? I certainly can't. Listen, before we get started, I just wanted to, a few videos ago, I don't know, in video 4 and video 5, at some point I talked about how I wanted to start increasing the speed to like times 4 as much as possible to just like blast through these seasons. Because the first, like, I think the first 3 videos were like one season each. And then video 4, I think it was video 4, I was like, I want to see if I can get through like winter and spring in one video. I think that only in one video, I think I got into video 4, I think I got from like of year 1, like winter into like spring, like halfway through spring of year 2. And then I think in video 5, I went all the way from halfway through spring of year 2, all the way to halfway through autumn of year 2. And I think that was the only video in which I actually like got like 2 seasons done. These are all like hour-long videos. I think now that we have like a much bigger population, though, things are going to slow down a little bit. I'm probably going to try to keep things on like 3 or 2. Just because there's just so much going on. I mean, sometimes I'm gonna bump things up to 4, and like at night, I'll probably often bump it up to 5, just to, like, blast through the nights. Look at that, we got another villager joining our clergy over here. This is great. But just I just wanted to let y'all know that that like if you see me not constantly being on the highest speed, like that's why. Plus, I think that like with this many people, like you could see if I went up to 4, like like the graphics just get a little choppy. I think because like my computer just has to like manage all of these little villains like running around so often. So I think things will just go like a little bit more smoothly, like in terms of like the video quality if we're at 3, as well as like the ease of like managing everything that's going on. Because as I mentioned 2 videos ago, things can get pretty hectic when you're at this point. I also mentioned that at the end of the last video, then in between videos, I was going to go in and sort of like try to count out my farm plots and estimate my like how much population like these farms can support. I completely forgot to do that, so we're just not going to do that. We're just gonna go with 200 and just hope that that's a good estimate. We do still have a farming family that we need to set up, and I'm gonna go ahead and start getting them set up a little bit here. And while I do, there actually is one more thing. So when I started this series, I wasn't quite sure like how far I wanted to take it or like what I wanted to do with it. Like I think the fact that the fact that we're 10 episodes in is as much a surprise to me as I'm sure it is to you. But what was that? A 3-pot farming family. But I think that like I might bring the series to a close. Probably not this episode, but like maybe the next one. I will admit that like this is probably one of the biggest civilizations I've ever had in this game. Like pushing 200 population is pretty wild. I think usually by the time my games get to about like 150 population is like usually where I like, I'll be honest, I get bored and I just start a new game. This one I kind of wanted to see like how far I could go, like because I'm recording it. So like we'll see. I do feel like we've kind of like reached the end of our production line for like most things. Like the clergy is just like at this point just a matter of like waiting for them to like become like monks, so I can turn them into like like herbalists and hospital workers and whatever. Let's go ahead and address this real quick because these are annoying. We approach you in a crucial time with a request most unusual. Our hearts taking us off this land. One of our foraging families wants to leave. I can't let that happen because we just need so many planks right now. So we're gonna go ahead and refuse that. To satisfy this request, you shall reduce taxes. Yeah, we'll go ahead and reduce the taxes over there. That's totally fine. And in terms of like sort of back to what I was, okay, hold on. Let's get through these. I actually kind of find this part of the game kind of annoying, but we're just for the sake of the game, we're just gonna do it. Now one of the farmers, that's an 8 size farming family. Oh, the rain courts. That's my original farming family. I'm actually gonna accept that, especially because their farm I only ever set up for like enough land for 7 people anyway, so they really don't need an 8th person working over there. I guess that's it for the public hearing day. That wasn't too many things. But yeah, so what I wanted to say is we'll talk about whether or not we want to accept these forge guys in a second. But that actually kind of ties into what I wanted to talk about was like for most of our production chains, like we've sort of built out most of them. Like really all we're missing in terms of peasants is like a forge we don't have, and in fact here's a forging family. The reason I'm hesitant to accept a forging family is because they really only take the steel ingots and like produce steel stuff. And if we look at the accounting report here, oh my goodness, give me a weapon. Yeah, I guess we don't need that many carpenters. If we look at the them here, like yeah, they're really not producing any steel, and I think that's just a matter of like my miners not finding any steel. Yeah, you can have a cape. My miner's not finding any steel, or my miner's not finding any steel. And yeah, you could see like there are stories among my people. Yeah, you can have that. There like even going back through the seasons, like there's literally no season where they have ever mined any steel. It could just be that there's no steel in this mountain. Like maybe if I moved them over to this one. No, I mean, so there is iron. So yeah, so it looks like there is actually some steel in this mountain over here. Wow, maybe I should have had them mining this the whole time. So like maybe if I moved, okay, so maybe if I moved my miners over here and then accepted this family, it like would be worth it. And you know what? Yeah, actually, just for like the sake of like, just for the sake of like completing all of our construction, all of our production chains for like this, I'm gonna go ahead and actually just go ahead and do that. So so let's go ahead and give them a basic house over here. We'll put them porch to porch with these guys so they can like all be like friends and stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put that there. I'm gonna erase the blueprints here. Perfect. All right, we'll give this to the forge family, the smithing family, I suppose. And we'll go ahead and build them a forge zone. I'm quite sure that I don't have a template for a forge zone because I almost never get that far down like the mining into the furnace into the forge like production chain. So yeah. Let's go ahead and give them a forge. I guess they're gonna need they're gonna need lots of stuff. We'll assign this to them. We'll give them like that. Regular our regular 2010 split. Sorry, so yeah, so what I wanted to talk about is how I'm considering bringing this sort of series to a close, mostly because I feel like we've kind of filled out everything we can do. Well, what I actually want to do is I want to start another series and actually turn on like the royal taxes, because that's sort of like I think how the game is intended to be played. Like I've mentioned in previous videos, I don't have it turned on for this run through just because I just kind of wanted to like play, I guess, like on easy mode so I could sort of like make 10 hours worth of YouTube content without having to like stress over like royal taxes and stuff. But now that I've gone ahead and made this series and I feel like I learn a little bit every time I play this game too about how it works. Like there's definitely, oh, look at that. Oh, we never even edited the zone. I feel like there's definitely been moments where I've figured like something little out here and there. So what I really want to do is I kind of want to start a second series. So I'll probably make this one like this video. What I'll probably try to do is I'll probably just try to get like one of everything with the exception of the clergy stuff, because like that just takes so long to like get through. I'll just try to get like one of everything like up and running, because like we have like plenty of farms, we have royal forests, we have fishing pools, we have windmills into bakeries, we have hunting areas into butcheries. We still need a tannery and a leather workshop and a bower's workshop. Right, so a bower's workshop, so it consumes steel rods, which are going to be produced in the forge. So mining into furnace, into forge, into bower's workshop. Obviously, the bower's workshop also requires yarn, so that would come from the tailor. That's just another reason why like getting a tailor early on is like so important. But we have like the tailor and the rope mill. We have the brewery, the glass mill. The glass mills are kind of. I actually don't really know what the purpose of them like really is. We'll if one pops up, we'll accept it just for like the sake of like getting everything. But obviously we have a carpentry and a builders guild. We have the mining field, the masonry, and the furnace. We just accepted a forge. So like basically all we need to have like everything is a bower's workshop, a glass mill, and just a tannery and a leather workshop. So there's like only 4 more families that like we really need to like worry about accepting. And we're about to get some more favor points over here too, so like we could probably like maybe even try to speed through that. But I'm just gonna try to like I'm gonna try to like get to the point where like we basically have everything like set up, and kind of like running and like as stable as possible. And like once we're at that point, I think we can probably call this run through like complete and like done. I would have liked to have gotten another rope making family to sort of like fill out this carpeted area here that we're supposed to be building. There's a few things that we could have like done a little bit better, but I'm not like really super concerned. I feel like we've done a really good job in this game of like keeping things like mostly stable. Like we've had a few like rough seasons here and there where like things didn't quite we had to do like quite a bit of like micromanagement and like giving people food and giving people resources and stuff. I feel like we're in a much more stable place, like with maybe the exception of like the milling into baking area over here, but like it's broadly fine. I'm not too concerned if that's not like perfectly stable, because we have like the resources to like be able to handle like every couple seasons like going over there and like giving them a few gold to just sort of like get them, keep them moving, keep them rolling. Let's go ahead and actually finish designing this forge area here. The household has 4 people, so let's go ahead and build 4 blast furnaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go ahead and build. Oh, look at that! They actually need a lot of stuff. We might need to make this a little bit bigger of an area. 3 grinding stones. Well, yeah. I guess we're gonna get rid of that real quick. Okay, so let's do anvils. Yeah, because this stuff takes up a lot of space. 1, 2, 3, 4 anvils. So we need another grinding stone. Let's go ahead and get one of those. Cooling casket. 1, 2, 3, 4. Smithing workshop. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wooden block. 1, 2, 3, 4. We need a well. We'll stick that right there. And a storefront. We'll stick it. Yeah, I feel like that's a decent forge area. Let's go ahead and fill out the hay walls here. I do like the idea of the fact that like we have like blast furnaces, and like I guess it's really just the blast furnaces, but we're literally like smithing metal in here, and the walls are made of hay and the ceiling is going to be made of hay. Like that is a very, very straight up dangerous fire hazard. And I actually wanted to bring this up in one of the earlier videos. One thing that I always found weird about this game is like in the the tutorials, which they call campaigns, there will be like a lot of them like will go into, there's like a few pre-built houses or whatever, and like a lot of them, like they just have like the campfires inside, and like there's no such thing as like fire in this game. Like it's not something you have to worry about, like fire catching and spreading around your town or whatever. But like it always really weirded me out that they just straight up always had like fireplaces like inside their houses, or not fireplaces, campfires, like literally campfires. It doesn't even say like fire pit, like campfires, like straight up just inside the houses. I always build them outside, just because like it makes more sense to me. But like, yeah, I don't know. It's just I'm going on a tangent, but like again, like blast furnaces inside like a straw like structure just feels incredibly irresponsible. Feels like the fire marshal should get on that. We wanted to move this mining family. What I really want is a second mining family to like work up there, but that's probably not going to happen. I think what we'll do is we'll just basically give them a second area over here. So we'll give them a basic house, small. I don't want them to spend a bunch of time cutting down the trees to like make this happen. We'll put this right here. We'll give this to our miners. Where are they? Where are they? Where are they? The greens? Yes. Yes. We'll go ahead and give it to them for free. And then we want them to mine this area right here, because there's a lot of good. And in fact, let's not even focus on the copper. Let's literally just get the iron here. So let's go ahead and probably would have been easier to do this during the daytime, but we're rocking and we're rolling. Let's like just do that. Like we literally just want the parts where it says like iron, and then we'll do the same thing down here. I think there's just like 3 spots of iron. 1, 2, 3. Okay. No. There's actually quite a bit more iron here. So we'll go ahead and make sure that they can get their hands on that. Looks like there might be a little bit over here too. Yeah. Great. And this should be all this stuff here. Okay, perfect. So yeah, okay, so we're gonna go ahead and is that iron there too? Yeah, it is. Okay, so they're gonna have a lot of like weird little mining zones, but that's gonna have to be fine. We're gonna want to put one there. We're gonna put one there, and we're gonna put one here. And the way that they're going to get to these mining zones is going to be super fun. We're just going to build bridges over to them. We're going to assign all of these to our only mining family, the greens. Yeah, we're gonna keep our taxes on all of them because we're greedy. No, because we rule with an iron fist, and the people need to know that they better pay us, or they're gonna be in a lot of trouble. That's why. I will use my laborers to build the bridges over to these mining fields. I'm not going to build like the three wide bridges like I usually build. That's fine. I don't even care. I'm going to build the 3 wide. Oh, look at that. The tanners. Let's go ahead and accept them. We're going to slow things down real quick. Oh, the one thing I wanted to do too was go through the families and make sure that we're not missing anybody that's having assigned zones. We'll do that in just a second. But yeah, so like I've been building these like the bridges like 3 like spaces wide just because I think it like looks better. I think it's just like more aesthetically pleasing. But since this is like strictly utilitarian over here, like we literally just want the iron from these mountains. Ooh, I sound like a capitalist. We're just gonna like build just like literally like they only need 2 bridges. Actually, they don't even need bridges here because they can just get there from the land. But like this one, they're gonna need bridges to get to. And we're not gonna like make it like fancy or anything. Like it's literally just gonna be like a line of like. I guess it should actually come from this side of the river because they're gonna be living. They're gonna be living up here, so we don't want them like running all the way around. So yeah, we'll do that. I guess probably the best way over here is just to give them like a bridge right there. And yeah, and they can live up in this house and they can come on down and they can mine our mountain. And in fact, actually, I think so what I'm debating on is whether or not I want to like revoke this mining area from them. I think I'm going to just so they're not distracted by it, just so they focus on what we want them to focus on. So we'll just go ahead and like keep that completely unassigned. And in fact, we'll revoke ownership on these households. We should have given them a bigger house up there is what we should have given them. I guess we can always expand it. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and revoke ownership on these houses too, so that they live in that one house and they mine like the areas that we want them to mine. Just because what we really want. Well, no. Actually, because we still want them to be feeding our masons and our we still want them to be feeding our masons. So let's actually go ahead and give this back to them real quick. Yeah, there's the greens. Let's go ahead and give this back to them. They'll probably not be splitting their time like as efficiently as we want them to. But we're just gonna have to like live with that. Here's what I'll do is I'll give them one of these houses. That way not all. That way they can't all live down here, and some of them will have to live up there. Maybe that'll keep things a little more like the way we want it. I don't know. We're just gonna go ahead and do that, and hope that our smiths aren't like just constantly like starving every like few seasons, because they're not being fed the stuff that they need. Okay, so let's go ahead. Great. Okay, so yeah. So let's check our let's check all our families here. Just make sure they all own zones because it's pretty easy to. I know we accepted a tanner. Actually, oh, you know what? I don't think that we ever built this farming family here. Their farmland, and in fact, we did not. So we're gonna go ahead and just do that real quick. I'm just gonna template this. Temporary templates. Farm temporary. We're just going to stick it right here. These are the thumbs. Let's go ahead and give this to the thumbs. We want to give them our regular taxation. And we got to make sure to do everything over here. Like I said in the last video, I'm only in terms of the wheat and grain, or sorry, the straw and grain producing plants. I'm only enabling rye because it produces the most grain. And now that we've been producing straw for so long, we probably have enough floating around our economy that like we don't really need to. Well, actually, I did run out recently and I couldn't even buy more. I think I still have an order to buy 300. I do have quite a bit. I'm actually going to go ahead and for this farm just also include wheat, just to get the 2 straw and 2 grain per wheat. I don't know how good of an idea that is, but we're just gonna do that and hope for the best. And again, the reason that we would turn off like butter and cheese and apples and pears is because if we're telling them to like produce these resources and they don't have like the actual infrastructure in place to do it, they might just start buying those things from the caravans and like letting them leach and like their money will be leached out like just like little by little into the caravan to meet those like at least to try to meet those production quotas. So we're just gonna go ahead and turn those off because the only thing that they can produce is in this list at least is grain and rice grain. This list isn't the list of everything that they will produce, but like we just want to make sure that if it's in this list and they can't produce it, it's not being turned on so that they don't even try. The same reason I'm turning off the trees. I don't want them to have to worry. Like whatever like little like tricks of the AI might like be weird. I just don't want them to have to worry about it at all. We're gonna go ahead and accept this glassmaking family. It's a family population of 5. I'm actually pretty uncomfortable accepting a glassmaking family this big because like they're basically completely useless and like I just actually we might have to kick them out. No, there's some. So the glassmaking family, like they need to have an area of sand to make glass. As far as I can tell, like nobody like wants glass besides like you can use it to like make windows and stuff. Like it's basically only decorative. So like if you're worried about like what are these inaccessible structures? Oh, just wooden bridges. If you're worried about like creating like really like fancy areas for your like demesne to like live in, then like yeah, like you can have like a glassmaker. But like the thing is like you only need like 2 windows per building, and I guess even if you're building like stuff for your nobles, like that's fine. But like even then, like they only need 2 windows per building, and like the glassmakers are just gonna like suck so many resources out of your town for like a little bit of glass. Now we actually do need I forgot that we got the tannery too, the tanners. I almost forgot. Do I have small tannery carp? Okay, so let's go ahead and put the tannery right here. Let's assign this to the tanners that we have, the Godfreys. We're actually going to give this to them completely for free because this only serves to produce hides, and that goes straight into the leather workshop. We can't do anything with hides besides sell it to the leather workers, and like so I just really don't see the point in and like taxing them for like a resource that we can't do anything with. That's just gonna have to get sold back into the market. Like yeah, we can make like a little profit off of it, but like why would we be cutting into their profits when like we're probably gonna have to like be giving them money to feed them at some point anyways? It just seems super pointless. So I'm just gonna give that to them for free. It's the same reason that I don't charge the brewers anything, or like the millers, because like it's just kind of pointless. Let's go ahead and give this house to the glassmakers, and let's go ahead and give this house to the tanners over here. And a lot of that is just from like experience. I've just noticed in games I've played, like the tanners like always just seem to like be running out of money and need it, and like even when I don't tax them, so like so just like taxing them would just like exacerbate the problem, and I'm just not trying to do that. Let's go ahead and build a glassmaking area over here. Now I think that we said that our current population limit is about 200. We should be fine. Yeah, we should be fine. I hope so, at least. Oh, the rope makers, a family size of 4. Yeah, that's fine. We'll go ahead and accept them. Just because, like I said, like I'm just trying to get like sort of everything like set up and like mostly stable, so that we can say like this run through is done. Good job. Like we did it. We built the town. We did the whole dang thing. And I think we're pretty darn close. And I actually am reasonably confident now that we kind of have the economy to support all this stuff going on. So we're just gonna go ahead and do that. We're just going to go ahead and do that. What I am going to do over here in the rope making area is I'm going to adjust their priorities so that they're producing more carpet than rope, because we really just don't need that much rope. And I want carpet down in my house over here. So I'm just going to have them doing that. And that should give them something to buy. Now, the tailors actually, interestingly, now that we have a rope maker again, we might want to, right, because the rope mill like turns 8 yarn into 1 carpet. They're probably at a place where they're consuming, yeah, look at that. They're consuming like way more yarn than they're producing. So I'm going to come in here and look at this. You can even see we have it on like yarn and then like nothing else. I'm going to come in here for this tailoring family and just turn all this stuff off just so they like provide the tailors with some yarn. We have this other tailoring family over here and they're probably doing the exact same thing. Yeah, they have the same priorities, and you can even see here like they're still consuming more yarn than they're producing. I think it's pretty, like I'm actually really like wondering how they're getting so much yarn. Like, where is that yarn coming from? Because like they're the ones making the yarn, and there's no way that they're buying all that from, I mean, maybe they're buying it from the caravans. I have no idea. Either way, absolute insanity. So we have our tanners set up. We have our glass. Let's get our glass makers set up over here. So luckily the glass mill is like a pretty easy area to set up. All you need to do is like give them, what do we have? A family size of 5. Wow, that's a big, yeah, that's right. I didn't like that, but you know, like whatever. Give them like, oh, look at that. Yeah, they need a blast furnace too. Give them like a blast furnace. We'll give them whatever. We'll give them 5 blast furnaces. We'll give 5 glass furnaces. We'll give them 5 wooden blocks. Ooh, not there. And a storefront. And then yeah, just fill out all the sand areas with dig sites. And they'll just like dig up a bunch of sand and make a bunch of glass. We can always like expand into the rest of this like sandy area over here. That should hold them for, I don't know, like a season or something. Actually, there's 5 of them, so I probably won't even hold them that long, but like whatever. I don't really care about the glass makers too much because they're basically useless. Okay, so we have the tanners. So the only thing we really need then is the bowers and the leather workers. I guess we actually never got into all the artisans, but like I'm broadly fine without getting into the artisans for this run through. Maybe in a future when we can like try to work on like focusing on that a little bit more. I do feel like with this game, like I've definitely never built a society where like we actually have like all of the peasant zones. I usually feel like each society you build you tend to find yourself like focusing on like one sort of like or not one, but like focusing most heavily on like a like resource production chains. Like you'll find yourself like focusing on like, oh, like this game, like it turns out like I have a lot of miners and like masons and I'm doing a lot of like the furnace and forge and then maybe even like furnace and forge into like the mint and like the artist workshop and like jewelry workshop like production chain. Or you'll find a game where you're like really like heavily like leaning on like, oh, like I got like building up like a big clergy or like going into like the butchery, tannery, like leather working direction, and maybe like ignoring some of these more like metally directions. Like I definitely feel like all the games I have, like I always have like farmers, royal forest, fishing pools. I always try to set up a windmill and a bakery if I can. You've seen during this run through like actually how difficult and annoying it is like just to get to a functional bakery. It's like surprisingly like way harder than I ever expect it to be. But like I generally do try to go down like that production path, like, you know, like the tailor into the windmill, into the tailor into the rope maker, into the windmill, into the bakery, as well as the mining field into the masonry into the bakery. Obviously you can get like the windmill and the bakery like with skipping some of that stuff by buying it from the caravan, but like I mean I still like to this day do not have myself in my inventory enough stone blocks to like have helped the baker build their oven, and I even have a mason that I'm taxing. So like that's just like how difficult it is. Like sometimes I've definitely played a game before where like I did get the stone blocks from the at least for one oven, or like one or two from the caravan. So it's not impossible, but like this game, like it just clearly didn't happen. But anyway, yeah. So back to what I was saying. I really do think that we only need a Bowyer's workshop and a leather workshop. And in fact, why don't we just go ahead and start having these things get built. That way they're there and waiting for the time when we get the family to do this stuff. I'm gonna put this right here. There's the leather workshop, and we'll put a house over here, like so it'll be ready and waiting for the leather workers when they finally do decide to stop into town. We'll just go ahead and pop it right there. That's fine. So that'll be the leather working household, and then the last household that we're gonna need is well, actually, let's sort of wait on. Well, yeah. We'll just go ahead and build it. We'll put like a basic small house like over here. I kind of want to build a bridge across the river here. Did we ever build these bridges? Yeah, we totally did. Okay. Because like they feel so isolated. Like if they're not like connected to the town. I don't know. This is gonna be the Bowyer's workshop. I've never actually built a Bowyer's workshop in this game, so we're gonna play around with that zone real quick and just like see what it looks like and how it goes. Let's go ahead and just because I've never had, because like this is like into production chain, right? Like to go from mining field into furnace into forge to finally get the steel rods that the Bowyers need, and to have like just the tailors is like the yarn, but I don't know. For me, like getting to the forge always feels like in production chain, like the end of like mining, furnace, forge. And like a Bowyer's workshop is like even beyond that. I'm actually surprised that this isn't an artisan shop, that this is a peasant shop. Yeah, that's fine. But I guess we'll wait, because these things are going to keep popping up. Yeah, we can definitely do a celebration. That's totally fine. Yeah, luckily we have enough resources to fulfill this request here. Ooh, I do no, absolutely not. I'm not losing a 7-pop farming family. That's not happening. Yeah, I'll give them some money. Ooh, oh no. That's miners. I really don't like those requests. I don't think you can see it on the recording, but I did just get a Steam achievement for the people accept 50 council requests, so that's pretty nice. I actually think I might accept these miners, family size of 4. I actually think I am going to do that because then I can have them work this mining field down here, and then the other family can work on that one up there. So let's go ahead and we just have a free household just sitting here like waiting. That's fine. This is like artists. I think during this run through, like we're probably not going to get into the I'm just accepting that we're not going to get into like the artisan stuff, and that's going to be fine. Even if we wanted to, like we don't even have like a good like house built for our like personal Demesne family, and like the artisans are going to expect better houses than the peasants. So like yeah, we're just really not set up. I think honestly trying to build all those roofs was like a huge mistake. Just because like our carpenters are still like tied up, like waiting for the resources to build those roofs. You can see they've done a lot of work, like they've got a lot of houses completed, but like you could still like this one's patchwork, that one they haven't even started. These ones they mostly completed, but yeah, I think that's something that I've learned in previous games. It's just a lesson that I refuse to learn, that I always forget. Like doing like absolutely enormous construction projects is like pretty dumb, because like there's just never going to be enough resources at one time to like take care of all that, and then you're going to find yourself in a situation where like whichever family you have doing that. Oh, that's interesting. B is a hotkey for beauty values. I didn't know that. Whichever family you have doing that is just going to be caught up like with that one construction project for like 2 straight years, and still not going to be done. Like let's take a look at their family market presence here. Like they still need 1,400 planks. I think the first time we checked it was like 2,700. So they've literally, and that was like a year ago. So like they've literally done like half of it in a full year. Like we could probably wait another year and like they'd get there. But you also got to keep in mind that like we set our all three of our royal forests here to literally only produce planks for this construction project, and still it's not done. And they've been producing nothing else. No blueberries, like nothing at all. Well, I guess we've been getting blueberries from this royal forest over here, but like whatever. Like from like this little like basically blueberry farm that I set up, but whatever. Like either way, like these royal forests have just been like pumping out as many planks as they can, and this job is still not done. And I'm actually surprised that they even have the wood to build these bridges, because like that's just crazy. In fact, they don't have the wood to build these bridges. What I'm gonna need to do is I'm gonna need to set some demolish like orders down here for my people, for my my laborers to come down, cut down these trees, and take the wood and go build those bridges for me. Which is just not an ideal situation to find yourself in, but you know what? Whatever. So sorry, I went off on a massive tangent there. I completely forget what I wanted to do. What I wanted to do was set up this new mining family, the bunnies, over here with this mining field. So let's go ahead and do that. So now the bunnies are going to mine that field. The greens can still live in this house, which is actually probably not great, because some of them are going to sleep there and they're going to spend literally all day running back and forth instead of like actually doing the mining. I think that what I want to do is I can probably edit this house to allow for 7 people to sleep in here. We'll put a bed there, and then we'll put you know what, they can cry about it and they can sleep outside. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. So now this house can sleep 7. I'm going to go ahead and cancel their ownership on this house down here and sort of force them up in this area. That way we can sort of ensure that we're like pumping a little bit of iron ore into our economy. The iron ore will go through the smelters, will become iron ingots, which will then filter down into the forge, and finally they can use it to build like whatever they build with it. Yeah, weapons, spears, swords, and tools. Which actually I actually don't know what tools are for in this game. I think that like maybe they just cut down trees faster or like build faster or something. Either way, like probably something that I should have like worried about like getting my hands on earlier in this game was like a like this forge for like a constant source of tools. But like we've been fine without it. Anyway, all right, what I wanted to do was I wanted to revoke the access to this household for the Green family. I wanted to cancel that ownership. Yeah, great. So really we only need, again, the Bower's Workshop and the Tannery, and I think that will be like every production chain set up. Again, with the exception of the artisans, but I think that once you have every production chain set up, you could theoretically get any of the artisans, because like the artists, yeah, they don't really need anything to produce art besides paper stacks. I think, let's take a look real quick. Yeah, ArtStation, just paper stacks and planks for art. And like the clergy can produce paper stacks, like the artist can sort of, you can get them up and running pretty quickly. If you want them doing more advanced things like building sculptures, obviously they need like some of this more advanced stuff. Like a blast furnace requires an architect just to build it all. The Alchemist's Workshop, we've talked about this before. I don't actually know if they can produce their own echinacea, dandelions, and lavender and stuff. I think that might also have to come from the clergy, from the Alchemy Workshop, in the clergy zone. So, ooh, hold on, we got our bowers right here. Yeah. Let's go ahead and give them these zones up here. Oh, I never even built the Bower's Workshop. Let me sort of continue down on that tangent that I was going down. Then we'll work on the Bower's Workshop. So what I was going over was I just wanted to see like what production chains sort of allow you to even get to any of these like artisan families here. The theater, I think, yeah, the theater is the only one. It consumes nothing, produces nothing. Is the only one that you could just straight up get like without. Well, the theater requires a carpenter. The theater stage requires a carpenter. So you do need a carpenter before you can get them. But that's the only bottleneck. And like as you can see through this run through, the carpenter is like going to be one of the first families that you pick up. So like the theater is probably the only artisan family that you really could get. And honestly, I probably should have had my Demesne member has been bored. I don't know why there's 17 of these notifications, because I do not have 17 Demesne members. Maybe it's counting Maybe it's counting like my laborers as part of the Demesne family, which is really interesting if that's the case. But either way, I probably should have picked up a theater family like really early in the game just to get rid of this notification here. I mean, and by early in the game, I mean like as soon as I got a carpenter, but I didn't, and I wasn't thinking about it. And I think so. The jewelry workshop. So you need ingots here. So obviously, until you get the furnace, you can't really do anything with the jewelry workshop. And the same thing with the mint. So like yeah. So I think those are just sort of like the production change you need to get set up. Honestly, like not really that bad to start supporting these artisans, but they are production change that you need to worry about. Let's go ahead and get this Bower's workshop set up though. I've never built one of these before. I've never like messed with the Bower stuff. This is the Wallbank family over here. So it does require a carpenter to build, but I think generally by the time that you're producing steel ingots, you're going to have a carpenter, so that's not bad. There's 4 of them, so let's go ahead and build 4 of these, and that's literally, I guess, all they need. Let's go ahead and build some weapons racks because they're going to need these for storage. We can put these 1, 2, yeah, let's just build like quite a, they're probably going to need a bunch of them because like who the heck is buying like bows besides like my hunters maybe. So I think and you'll see this if I actually do bother to get around to making another series of this game with the royal taxes enabled. But part of the royal taxes is that the royals will demand they'll demand like you to send them like soldiers. We didn't really do it in this game because it doesn't matter without the royal taxes. But like you can send people to be soldiers. Like you could like train them as soldiers and arm them with like bows and arrows from here. And like you saw like in the forge zone, the forge produces like helmets and plate armor and steel shields and swords and warhammers and spears and tools and horseshoes. Like and you know and raising horses in the in your stables as part of that, like basically trading up soldiers is like a whole part of this game that like we just did not explore at all in this. But if we get into actually I'm just gonna go ahead and give them I'm gonna give them stewardry, and I'll give them like 2 gold a season, and they can just give me everything that they make, because they probably can't support themselves. Because yeah, but yeah, but if I do make that second series, which I really do want to do, I really do want to try to do that. Then we can go ahead and probably focus a little more on like the soldier making part of the game. I think that's interesting. It's something that I've never really played with outside of like the campaign tutorials that like sort of like asked me to do that. But I mean, again, I think that like even doing that, like really what it constantly comes down to is like how much food are you producing, right? Like, are your farms producing enough food to support your population? Because if not, then like, and honestly at that point too, you'd probably have to tax the farms a little bit more, like under sockage, because if like half your population is like soldiers, like you need to like feed them and stuff. That definitely be an interesting like change in the economics of the game. I have always wondered too if you could basically do like a communism in this game where like you just take like literally all of everybody's like resources. Like everybody is like I guess on stewardry basically, like where you get 100% of the resources and then you like sell them back to the entire community for just straight up free. Right, so like every season, everybody gives you everything, and then as they need it, they just come get it from your warehouse. Basically, I do wonder if that would work. Interesting. I'll have to do a little test. I'll have to do a little test game and see if that works. I do wish that there was a like a sandbox mode for this game that I could just like set up like a little town real quick and like just like let it run on like that. Like with those settings for like 2 or 3 seasons, like just like turn it on and like leave it alone and see what happens. But I guess you know what, like maybe I'll make that into a little series, because honestly, like even where we're at right now, like if I just like went through to like every single zone and changed them all to like stewardry, and then went into the warehouse and gave like literally everything, like every kind of food and everything away to my locals like completely for free. Interesting. I have no idea if that would be a good idea or not. You know what? So maybe here's what I'll do. Maybe after maybe after the next video, because I'm hoping that we can get like a tanner. In fact, we could probably just request one. We could probably just request a leather working family here. Yeah, we have the favorite points for it. Let's just go ahead and request them, because after that after that we will literally have one at least of every type of family, and then I think we can go ahead and say that like we've basically like basically like not beat the game, because there is no beating this game, but you know what I mean. Like we can say like we've completed this run through. We can probably call this the last episode. And maybe I'll make like a bonus episode where I do that, where I just like go through and set everything to stewardry, pay them I guess nothing, and then they just take whatever they need completely for free. The one thing yeah, I guess it won't matter, because if they don't need money to get what they need from me, and they give me everything constantly, so I just have everything. Yeah, like I guess that would basically make money completely obsolete in this game. I don't know. I'm actually pretty curious to do that. I'll make like a separate save file for that, and we'll I guess the only concern would be the clergy. I don't actually know if the clergy count as locals for this trade screen here. Local market. I mean, it does say local market. Controls. Here's the market. I don't know. I really don't know. Okay. Well, I mean, we're gonna try. We're gonna try is what's gonna happen. We're gonna try. And we're just gonna see how it goes. But yeah, I mean, I think that like I think that this has been like, or at least I really hope that this has been like a like instructive sort of like series on like, you know, how this game works, like how the production chains work, sort of how the economy works, how the resource management works. Like I said, I will do one more like bonus video after this with like a communism test in this game, just to like see if it works. I'm very curious to see if it's going to work or not. And what I'll probably do for that video is I will just like set it for like 4 times. Like I won't accept any families. I won't deny. I won't basically touch anything. Like I'll like hit the prompts as they come up for like you know, like whatever you call it, public hearing day or whatever, just to like keep things moving. And I'll try to talk. Well, no, I'll talk through the video, because otherwise it'll be like kind of boring to watch, I guess. And obviously, like, you guys are coming here not for the gameplay, but for like the sound of my voice, because I'm just so interesting to listen to. And I understand that, and like I understand that this is show business and you got to give the people what they want. So I'll just go ahead and talk through the video like that. That'll be fine. I'll figure out some stuff to say while we're just like basically just like watching the town run at full speed, which is kind of actually what we're doing right now. Here we go. We just got our final family, and I think that like, oh man, it feels good. I've never actually played a run through where I've had like one of every type of family and like all these different production, like literally every production chain like completely like set up and ready to go, and it feels pretty good to like have actually not only have done that, but have done it while recording everything that I'm doing. I will also say though that like I said, I turned off like the royal taxes for this run through, which kind of puts it on easy mode. Usually I do play with the royal taxes, which I think is probably why I've never actually been able to like kind of like get this far, basically. But, well, I mean, I will say I have gotten farther. Like I've definitely played. I think the farthest I've got is like year like 1405, maybe, with the royal taxes. But they go up so significantly every year that like it's really hard to like not let them just completely drain you of all your money and resources, and then all your people start starving. I don't think I've gotten to like the literal like game over screen. There is definitely a literal game over screen. I may have gotten there once when like maybe an uprising killed me. I don't know. I actually don't know if I've ever gotten to the literal game over screen or not. I'm sure there is, like if everybody dies, or if all your rulers die, like, because there can be uprisings, like you can be like overthrown. Oh, look at that, they're having the celebration. I don't think I've done that, but I when it comes to the royal taxes, like I've definitely never gotten like super far. Maybe like year like 5 at latest. So yeah. Oh no, see, look, somebody's starving. The Masons. See, so this isn't great. Who's starving? Show inventory. They have no money. Honestly, like the thing with, I mean, look at that. They have all these construction orders. I think that we're running into the masons the same thing that the carpenters ran into, where like they got a bunch of money from all these construction orders, but then they just didn't have the materials to make it. So they've been like slowly buying the materials as they become available on the market. But then they're also in the intermediary spending a lot of that money on like food and necessities. So they're just going to run out of money like that. Wait, no, sorry. That would be the architects. That would be the architects who would run into that problem. The fact that the masons are running out of money, I mean, maybe it's because the architects should still be buying everything that the masons are producing. So I don't. I'm not happy to see that is what it is, especially since it's like a 2-person family. They shouldn't really need that much money. Like I will give them some money. I just like I don't. I've said it before. Like if you find yourself in a situation where like you're constantly like giving families like money like every couple seasons because they're starving, that means that there's like something's up, right? Like something's not right. And I don't know if I've ran into this with the Masons before, but like just like the fact that like every season like this villager starving pops up and I have to give like money to someone like sort of tells me that like there's some disconnect somewhere in my economy. And yeah, and it's just like it's gonna happen. I think we're probably about at our population limit, maybe just a little over. I'm really hoping that doesn't screw us for the wintertime. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, like the fact that this keeps happening is like kind of concerning to me. And the fact that like, are these both the masons are starving? No, see these are the architects now too. And again, like I mentioned with the carpenters and the architects, like I'm broadly understanding of why they end up running out of money, because of like the sort of situations that we've put them in. Now look at that, the carpenters have like plenty of money, well at least the architects. So I'll give them a little. They have money though. I mean, I'll give them 1 gold. But like the fact that they're starving and they have money doesn't bode well. That usually either means there's like they're glitched out and they're stuck somewhere, which clearly isn't the case, or it means that like there just isn't enough food floating around, so it doesn't matter that they have money. But we're coming up on winter. This honestly might be a rough winter. We'll see. Let's see. I have 100% with this family. I'm gonna go ahead and refuse this. I honestly probably have like recruits in here that I haven't even bothered to assign because people just want to join. I'm not allowing this farming family to leave. Absolutely not. Holy goodness gracious. What they need. Okay, so I have enough. I don't have enough to give them everything that they need. What are we missing? Oh, it's the planks. Of course, it's the planks. No. Doing a lot of refusing this time, aren't I? But that's okay. Yeah, I'll definitely allow you to schedule a celebration. That's fine. See, so I do like the town hall in that it reminds you to do little things like schedule celebrations, because like I would be completely forgetting to do that if like every couple weeks they weren't popping up and being like, hey, you should schedule another celebration. But I don't like it because it like sort of shuffles people around in ways that like, well, it asks me to shuffle people around in ways that I don't want to, and it like low key penalizes you if you like refuse. And that I mean, like I understand that like it's like adding a little bit of a chaos element to the game, and like that's fine. But like in a game that's like so like heavily just like resource management and like I'm gonna go ahead and pop another stable hand on there. I've been to do that before. In a game that's like so heavy like resource management and like micromanagement stuff, like the chaos element like feels I don't know, like it feels like it feels it feels chaotic is what it feels like. It feels chaotic. Look at, is that one of the clergy sleeping in the bed over here? What? Oh, one of the smelters. Are you like sick? Oh, you are sick with the measles. So I guess they sleep in the hospital even even if there's no like even if there's nobody working the hospital, right? Because yeah, look at this. That's actually really good to know. That is actually really good to know. So this person's sleeping in the hospital. You could see here that they have the measles, and they got to be that one person. Yeah, that's the one person with the measles. You can see here that we actually don't have any clergy working the hospital. We don't have any nurses. So that's actually really interesting and good to know. That something I'm going to have to keep in mind is to just start building hospitals. What I'd be curious is if they still slept in there, even if we didn't even have a clergy or if we didn't have like a bishop or anything set up. I'll have to test that in the next run through that I do. Like one of the first things I'll build is a hospital just to test it. But what's funny is what I used to do, because I didn't know this. What I used to do was anytime somebody would be sick, I would just arrest them and send them to jail, and I would basically use the jail as the quarantine. And if anybody committed a crime, then I guess they got to hang out with all the sick folks. I guess I didn't have much sympathy for that. But that's very interesting that they'll sleep in the hospital anyways. Like I guess they'll use it as like a quarantine zone. So I'll have to keep that in mind for future run throughs. That's definitely good to know. Yeah. Other than that, like things are looking on the up and up. I think that for my little what do I want to say? The communist experiment that I want to do. I think that I probably want to get this civilization through winter time here, just to make sure that like we have enough food and stuff floating around, because if the regular economy is stable, then we can start like playing around with it in like weird ways. So I think this video I might let it go over an hour, just to sort of like get towards the end of the winter, so that when we go to make like the bonus video, we can basically like get to like the end of the winter and then like pause everything and go through and set every single zone to stewardry. Actually, let's check that right now. Can you set it to stewardry and then pay them nothing? Let's take a look at this. If I change this to stewardry, can I just pay them nothing at all? Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah. Because that's the plan, right? So what I'm gonna go ahead and cancel this. I don't want to. I do wish to discard the changes. Yes. I wish that you could like see like the family inventory beforehand. I don't want to accept them going into the wintertime, because they're not going to produce any food all winter, and they're just going to eat it. And I think we're already over a population limit, so I'm going to go ahead and not. Oh, look at that! We could have waited and accepted the leather workers now. We didn't have to burn our stinking favor points on them. But like whatever, it's fine. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So my plan is to set all of my zones to straight up to stewardry, pay them nothing, but then also give everything into the local market completely for free. So like they won't be making any money, but they also won't be needing any money, as long as there's enough resources, I guess. I don't know. We're gonna see how it goes. I really think it'll be an interesting experiment. I do wonder if it's one of those things where you can only make it work if you're already kind of a big society like I am. I don't know. Interesting. We'll have to play around with it. Maybe I'll do another run through where I try that from the start. I don't know if I'll do it on on recording. Well, may as well, right? Like, why not if I'm making all these videos? I'll tell you what, I'll do it on recording if people start watching these videos. I'm looking right now. This is being recorded the day, like 2 days, like the day after video 1 became available online. And I only have 7 views, and I'm pretty sure that 2 of those are myself. So if people watch, like, I have these sort of scheduled out. Like, this one's going to come out on the 27th of December, 2023, I guess. And like after that is like Christmas and stuff, so like, and then like the New Year. So maybe if like I'll try to schedule these out, and like if I come back after the New Year and I'm seeing some like traction on this channel, maybe I'll go ahead and do that. Maybe I'll just go ahead and do it anyways, just because like I kind of think it's fun to like talk into this microphone and like play this game at the same time. I don't know. We'll see. Either way, I think it might be an interesting way to try to like mess with the like economic like mechanics of this game. So like we'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and see if that we'll we'll definitely do it in a bonus episode after this one, just for like the society. I'm just curious if you can like make it work like straight up from the start. Like if from like day one, like everything is is stewardry. Yeah. I think that you might not be able to. Yeah, actually, I do think because you start the game with like a bunch of like food, like a bunch of just like straight up like normal meals. So for the first like two like seasons, while you get like all your people set up, you could just like give them food, and then by the time that like the first like this like first like tax day comes, like with the farmer setup and stuff, they could start giving it all to you, and then you just start doling it out as they need it. Because I don't think the villains are going to stockpile anything that they don't need. So I think that like that should actually work out just fine. Yeah, and then like anybody who needs construction materials will just come get exactly as much as they need from you instead of I mean that'll be interesting. I actually think that it would work. The only concern that I have about that is like you probably won't ever be able to get anything from the caravans because nobody will have any money, or everybody will have money that they're not using. I'm not actually sure how the money will work in that situation. So we're gonna have to. I mean, okay, yeah, we're gonna play with it. Okay, we're gonna play with it. We're gonna figure it out. Now, this video is already sitting at just under the hour mark. In fact, I think that's the hour mark right there. At least according to my recording thing here. I don't know if it'll pop up the same on YouTube. But again, I really do want to get kind of through winter here. Like I just want to see if I'm curious if this person goes to the hospital. Where are they? No, they're not going to the hospital. Interesting. I do kind of want to get most of the way through the winter so that like we can sort of like test the stewardry like communism play, like sort of through like seasons where like the farms are actually producing stuff and not like where they're just like the fields sit fallow and nobody's like making any food and we're just running through our stockpile for the winter. So I am gonna let this video sort of like burn a little extra time at the end here. And we're gonna have to see, that'll give us like a season 2 to like sort of check our check like some of these newer families. So like this is interesting. Like they're making leather shields. So the leather workers are already making stuff, which is pretty good to know. Let's check the accounting reports. Yeah, look at that. They're making leather armor, leather shields. How incredibly nifty. Actually, we can even check over here, our day guards. So this is something we haven't looked at, but here's the equipment preferences for our day guards. They prefer to wear like steel helmets and shields and boots and stuff. But the fact of the matter is like most of them don't have that stuff because like you only start out the game with 2 day guards and they start out with like a full like equipment, but that stuff just degrades over time, you know? Why did the map move there? What's going on over here? Oh, because I double clicked on one of them. So like actually now that we have like, well, here's the thing though, because we also have, I want to be like, oh, now that we have the leather worker set up, we could change this to like leather armors, but we also have the forge set up, and if they're already producing like metal armors, then, well, they ain't producing nothing. Probably because these mines up here aren't producing nothing. Sorry, I should switch the speed back to 3. I'm trying to burn through the winter as quickly as possible, but I know that when I switch it to 4, like the video gets a little choppy, and I know that's gonna be bad for like YouTube. So let's go ahead and look at the miners up here. Wow. Oh wait, no. Right. Sorry. We want to see this accounting report. Yeah, I mean, I guess they're basically producing almost no iron ore. I guess the mines just move really slowly. But either way, some of that iron ore should have trickled over into the smelting area. Let's see. Yeah, we are producing steel. They're not really using any of it. That's like super interesting. Let's just double check that I'm right about how that works. Right, the bloomery turns iron ore into iron ore bloom, and then with the wood block turns iron ore bloom into, yeah, 1 steel ingot. Yeah. So it is iron into steel. And then the steel ingots should be coming down here. Well, yeah, we're not even making the steel ingots though. That's the problem, isn't it? I mean, we'll just let that play out for like a season and see what happens. We do have an inaccessible structure over here. Let's go ahead and take a look at what that is. From whom is that inaccessible? Why? You're fine. There's got to be some sort of like glitch, because they're clearly totally fine there. Yeah, let's go and try to just like crank the speed up. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to remember like if I move the map to turn the speed down because like things get choppy. But if I'm just like if I'm just gonna like let it run, which like I really do want to do just to try to get through winter as quickly as possible. I'm gonna try to keep the speed up on 4. I know that like the graphics are getting a little choppy here, but I think that at this point, like I'm pretty satisfied with how the society has turned out, and I think that like any of you should probably be pretty satisfied with how the society has turned out. So I'm just trying to just trying to get through like basically just like get through the winter so that we can have our little fun experiment in the next video. And yeah, we're already at an hour and 4 minutes. Actually, so you know what? Hold on, let's take a look at the clergy over here real quick. Oh, she's so close. She's so close. Honestly, by the end of the winter, she probably will be able to be assigned to the apothecary. But actually, you know what I think we're gonna do? I think we're gonna call this the end of the video here, because there's not gonna be like a you win screen or anything when we get to like mostly through the winter. There's just gonna be like me saying like, well, we're close enough. I'll see you guys in the next video. So I think I'll let this run like sort of speed through the rest of winter off recording. And then like sort of like right when we get to like a day before spring, I will turn the recording back on, and I'll sort of remind you all like what we're about to do and like what the experiment's gonna look like and stuff. And I might even make that video shorter. Like I might even like pause it like in between seasons, just like really like speed things up, just because like I'm just more concerned about like how the economy is going to work than like literally talking to you through the entire season. So now I've already talked to you for like 10 straight hours through like building this like little society here. So yeah, I think that's going to be fine. So yeah, so thank you all like so much for getting through this series with me. Again, like I'll add one more bonus episode. It's probably going to be a little shorter because I'm probably going to turn on the recording when something interesting happens and like turn it off when it's not, or at least pause it when it's not. But yeah, I'll see you all there. And again, like if I can get some engagement, I will start making other series of like probably with this game. I do want to try out a couple other games too, but like I do want to make another series of this with the royal taxes turned on. Maybe we can. Yeah. We'll plan for that being the next one, and like we'll see where things go from there. But like again, like thank you all so much for anybody who's like with me right now, who's like watching. Please like do the smash the button thing. Like you know the phrase, smash the like button and subscribe, and like leave a comment in the comment section and all that good stuff. Yeah, I'll talk to you guys next time.